When you think of Model A Fords, you probably think of clunky little cars that barely putter along. What probably doesn't come to mind is speed, but all that is about to change. Meet Dennis Perennial's Model A Coupe. It broke the land speed record in August of 2016 at the Bonneville Nationals.
This is a blown fuel Model A Ford engine. And when you're in the vintage class, you have to run the original block for that year car. So this is a 1929 block designed for 40 horsepower, and then we design and make every other piece by hand, and this makes a little over 300 horsepower. So we're putting 300 horsepower through a 40 horsepower block, which is pretty satisfying to do that. Also, you're hoping that the block will stay together long enough to make the run, but so far we've had very, very good results on that.
To get a vintage car originally designed with top speeds of only 45 miles per hour to go over 117 miles per hour in just over a minute, it takes real understanding of engines. Dennis Perennial and his driver Craig Arden have proved that they have the skills to do just that.
Craig Arden and I both designing the parts, looking things over, looking at the results of everything, and then modifying it to actually put the entire car together and then go out and set a record in the class is very, very satisfying.
To test the engine as they are in the phases of redesigning, they placed the engine in a device called a dynamometer, or a dyno for short. The dyno will measure things like force, torque, and the all-important factor of speed, power. If you want something to go fast, you need horsepower, and a lot of it.
We have two engine dynos, and on the dynos you can measure the horsepower and the performance of the engine, so that when we develop a part and build it and put it on the engine, we can test it to see what the end result is, to see if it makes the power or the durability or whatever it is that we're working with. So that's very satisfying to be able to design something, make it, put it on the engine, put it on the dyno, get the results, then put it in the car and have the end result be what you want.
It's go time. Only a few minor adjustments and it's ready to run. The push truck gets the supercharged Model A to the starting line. The moment has finally arrived. Everything is now on the line. And thanks to the in-car camera, we can get an inside look as Craig Arden makes the history-making land speed run.
During the run, the car it handles really nice. With the blown car and the vintage block, trying to stay, listening to the motor, that if it's happy, running well, and at the right RPMs. And you smell the fuel, and that was kind of a unique thing. The nitro coming in the car, it's like, it was kind of, you're driving a blown fuel motor in a Model A. It's pretty exciting.
They have done it. They have set a new land speed record at the Bonneville Nationals in the vintage altered class. But Dennis isn't done just yet. There is one more record to break. El Mirage.
We have already set the record for this class, this vintage fuel altered class at Bonneville at 117 miles an hour. And in a little over a month, they're running a land speed record event at El Mirage, California. And they have the same class available there. And we're going to go and try to set the record in the same class at El Mirage as we did at Bonneville. We'd just like to hold the record at both places.
Dennis and his driver, Craig Arden, feel that they are up to the challenge. They have made all the necessary adjustments needed to the Model A to handle the new track conditions. Only time will tell if this Model A has what it takes to become a two-time land speed record holder.